All right, I will call the meeting to order. And with the roll members. Martha Jones here.
Hold up here.
Terry Sawyer's here.
Abby, present. Jeremy Eversole here.
Steve Oswald here. Could
Our
have
own
used
guest. Okay.
Yes,
How do you-
yes, I'm not.
How do you spell that if you don't mind?
My last name,
Yeah.
first name, last name, OZC.
OZC.
OZ is a zebra, C as a cat,
Mhm.
ELIK, Oslick.
No barking, buddy. You'd be good.
Great, okay, and so we have a quorum. We're missing Tim and Doug and Karen, our full alternate. And then we have Athena on the Zoom camera. So. Shall we approve the new minutes
As amended, yes.
as amended? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No, okay, they get approved.
Oh, last.
Yeah. Alright, so under old business, I would like to ask the grace of the meeting to jump right to Mr.
Oslick.
So that he doesn't have to stay longer and,
Thank you.
and then you're next, Athena, sorry. I should have done you next, and then okay, let's change it around, let's do
Yes.
Athena, okay, because she's under old business and,
Okay, yeah, I'm okay if you want me to wait, so don't worry.
well, no, let's do you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, have at it, guys.
I did upload the, summary of the survey and planning grant report that Athena wrote. And I'm sure you all studied it thoroughly.
I did.
Did you?
Good.
Yay.
Actually,
So
I
was it
plagiarized
well
Brian's work, a lot of it. He did such a good job.
written? Uh-huh, yeah, he did. And it looks like we have another person here, Jared, on the Zoom class,
Yeah.
camera. Hi, Jared.
Hello, everyone.
So, so Athena, is there anything you want to say about the survey and planning grant, next steps, et cetera, that we should keep in mind? Now that it's done?
Well, one, I just want to appreciate you guys for all of your work reviewing all of Brian's work. That was awesome. Great teamwork. And Brian did a fabulous job. And if we can ever write another grant to have him back, I think we should do it. I know I was on a webinar, Western Massachusetts Historical Commission, I think, something like that. And MHC is facing some huge cuts from the federal government. So they were concerned about that. Although they are looking to hire someone to replace Jennifer for the municipal assistant, whatever her title was, local government title. So I think once that's done, we should reach out to her about steps forward to creating either the local preservation district or whatever it's called, or something to advance what we've done.
Yes,
That as a next step.
well, I'm glad you're suggesting that, Athena, because we think it's a good next step. as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I have to limit my work to kind of grant writing, but I'm happy to be involved with setting it up in, because if there's funding out there, then I'll need to be aware of what you all are thinking and how to move forward. And plus, I love working with you guys, so,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
it's a
Well,
good
we
thing.
love working with you, yeah. We're so glad you're there and we're able to pull all the strings together, the details and do the summary report, which was,
Yeah, so we
Really
can certainly
well
do the homework together, and hopefully there'll be some federal pass-through funds, or the state of Massachusetts will have some funding to put toward historical preservation.
great. Okay, well, I understand that all the property forms are up in Macros now.
Yep.
And actually, Sarah found a few
There's
Which
just
is-
a lot of stuff that I wish that I knew the origin of the data, like Deerfield Street in particular. Yeah, that's just gonna have to require some digging. Like a lot of the Deerfield area was destroyed like multiple times, like once with a fire and 2 floods. So all the addresses are wrong and those buildings don't exist anymore, but they're listed as not demolished because they weren't demolished. And so it's like, what are we looking at? It's been quite an exercise in patience.
I hope you're keeping a list because we can send it in.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely do that. And in Brian's documents, he did some, make note of some future updates and such on page 8, I think, of my report. It's always in his report. So that would be things that you all might want to tackle and probably wouldn't take on much grant funding, if any. So that's an idea. He did a pretty good job of suggesting things that for you guys to take on, including the thematic studies for future projects. So that could be another survey and planning grant as well. And I would assume, I know there was a hold on this year's survey and planning grant because they were not getting their funds, but hopefully they'll be able to continue that.
Yes.
Athena, do you know the MHC, are those cuts from the lack of the historic preservation fund money being included in the next fiscal year budget from the federal government, or do you know
Yes,
where?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and they've been lobbying to try to get that back. And I know state of Massachusetts and Governor Healy have doing a fabulous job trying to lobby, but it's just deaf ears,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Not our delegation, but
Right.
But yeah, I'll keep on top of that and keep looking out. And if they do replace Jennifer, I think a good step would be to meet with that person.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's federally, is it through National Park Service that the cuts were made or?
Yeah, probably Department of Interior, I think, one of those maybe.
Yeah, I know I just, as of like 2 days ago, the current fiscal year money that had already been appropriated, that had been withheld, was finally
Right.
released.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so
Oh,
like
good.
the
Okay.
SHPOs were supposed to get this money like 3 months ago. I know at least
Yeah.
Ohio had to lay off like a third of their staff because they didn't get it. They finally released this year's money, but in the president's current budget for next fiscal year, which whenever that starts, has like zero, basically nothing in the historic
Right.
preservation fund. So if that doesn't get changed, the entire like preservation, like all the money for preservation from the federal government comes through the HPF, and Trump is zeroing it out except for money for HBCUs in the next budget. So if that doesn't change, there's going to be major challenges. Not just that, I mean, all across the board, the SHPOs and everything.
Oh, gosh, that's upsetting and it passed, so,
Yep.
yep. All right, well, thank you, Athena, and, we'll be in touch and, I think that we've covered that item. Unless
Yep.
anybody has any other questions? No comments? Great, all right, now we will jump to, the review of 200 Main Street. The second item under new business. And we have the owner with us here and the realtor for the project, Jared. Great. All right.
Hi.
So,
Hi, everyone.
hi. Are you at the beach?
I am. My sister flew in from California, so I took the family to see her for a couple days. We are,
Yeah.
but I appreciate everyone meeting on the eve of the 4th of July. The new
Right.
fire station office looks great.
Yeah, it is. It's really wonderful.
So
Okay.
just a quick point of clarification, it's the addresses that we're speaking about is 192, although both are within the Historic Commission's district. The facade change is for 192. The town has the parcel listed as 192 200 Main Street, but
Okay.
the elevation and the window and the door change is just for 192.
Right. So Have you done research about this building and when it was built, and are there any elevations of the original building?
It's the original, all of them. They did it too, just stated it internally, patted on the floor. And recently they did the roof, but everything else is existing. They got stone underneath and then, other stuff up to date and perfectly shaped. Yeah, our problem is just the RV in Historic Society 182, two building there. And 200.
Right.
So 182, I think, would not belong to the historic.
Well, let me clarify, we are not the Historic Society, we're the Greenfield Historic Commission.
Oh, okay.
That is a city entity,
Okay.
a volunteer entity, and we work to provide understanding of historic matters and to protect historic properties.
Definitely.
We do not have any zoning review power,
Mhm.
but we will make recommendations and we would hope that you would follow them.
Mhm.
So, do you have access to did you find it should be under projects? It may be that, yes, under miscellaneous. Oops.
So the,
Nope.
the feel of the exterior of the building is just a grid rib cage of windows and opaque panels. That's going to be kept the same as it's been for the last several owners. And it's just an access window.
Upside down, isn't it?
It is upside down.
Yeah.
You look at it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Joking.
So it's just an access window to make sure all community members have access to the services provided at that space. And then increasing the doorway, moving it up Main Street and having it a double glass door. It's just still going to be the frames and glass and opaque panels as it always has
It's
been.
the same, basically.
Oh, yeah.
But we're just
You
gonna,
don't have a photograph or an existing conditions drawing to show us to
This is-
compare?
This is the existing. I'm not doing anything. If I explain here, this is the door, original doors here. We put the handicap window. Then we take the door right here. And I have.
Well, that isn't keeping it the same, that's actually making.
Yeah, exactly the same. Exactly, we're not changing anything basically. When I have two windows here, is it keeping the same? 200.
Okay, so, I can try to upload it, oh, good photo,
It's not Google Street View.
great. Yeah, so,
The door on 192, the door is moving from the center
Yeah.
to the right.
Yes, right. And door is gonna be handicap, window. For serving the handicap people.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Like a
Okay.
drive
Follow.
up.
They kindly walk up the drive, whatever you say.
Yeah, so it's
Yes.
keeping the same feel,
Same
it's
feel.
changing,
Everything's same.
it's changing the location of the.
Oh, okay, yeah.
of the door.
I see what you're saying.
and you're saying that you just want us to look on the left-hand portion of the
Both of them,
property?
both
Or
of them,
the whole thing,
both.
okay,
So the rule change.
Yeah.
To make it more in line with this.
yeah, it looks,
Oh, yeah.
Like it's just going to be more of that style move. Change that facade to match that one.
Is the material, what kind of material is?
And it's
the same?
aluminum and glass, that's all.
Basically, the same look that's there.
well, what's there is wood, I believe.
No,
But the windows are aluminum, but the,
no
the
wood
inside.
there, you just see there, the white part of it, the 200, is it just they covered it for the people not gonna damage the building, is the underneath is the his was said wood.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I didn't want to touch it before, building inspector said, okay, you guys said, okay, so.
But the idea is to make this 100 conform to the facade of.
Will be this in very, I have more. You guys can see this. That's the inside of the. Well said, you guys see more, you want, good.
Well, what is the sense of the meeting?
Building has never really particularly stuck out to me, so I don't think, yeah, I don't think there's really any, at least in my eyes, I don't think there's any significance that would be, I don't know, destroy if they made the changes.
Is that correct, Jared?
I'm sorry, it was hard for me to
You
hear
said
that.
you weren't making any changes to 200 or 192?
Right, Steve, we don't have any plans to change the facade to 200 right now, are they?
The window for the handicap,
Yes, but that's at 192, right?
no, both of them,
On both of them? You,
both of them.
Where's the window for the handicap and the other?
To my name. It's gonna be right here, but it's, this is already placed, and the other one is gonna be right here.
Oh, okay.
Two, side by side, this is two different buildings.
Right.
Could be different, here is gonna be convenience or this and that, soups and, there, this side is gonna be bunch. Homemade chocolate and coffee and, ice cream.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
And outside serving, and also we have, in future, we have the 1,000 square feet back, 192, next along with this lucky nail goes down behind there, we can build down, there too,
Oh, interesting.
and could happen outside serving and all those things. People
But
say.
you're not asking us for.
No, no, no.
that.
No, just that, that's the new building permit in the future, but it's now, I don't, say too much. So we had it comes in with a 2 handicap window and, 1 door.
Do we know anything about the vintage of these buildings, like how old,
1940,
1940?
yeah.
So they are historic. But
I mean, those fall like old.
Yeah.
legally,
They're like,
thing too, like, there are other.
years, yeah.
And look to Matt's point, there really hasn't been much in there for.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, I mean, it's not like something like, at least mine on this, like, oh yeah, like such a good store used to be there, or this was the site of this, or some
Yeah.
famous guy, like, I don't know, broke his ankle there in 1975, it's like.
I'm an antique.
It's hard to. Yeah, I mean, looking at it, it's hard to tell how much of any of that facade at 192 is original. Do you have any idea like how old the actual the facade on 192 is? That's like how it relates to what it looked like.
Must be 20 years, at least 20, 30 years.
It doesn't look like a 1940s storefront to me.
no, I know the last couple owners tried to, there was some damage and they were trying to secure. It's really only been some pop-up retail shops, for a short period of time.
Yeah.
Nothing is established and usually vacant. So it's usually boarded up or with
Yeah,
stickers
that's
on it or something
right.
like that. But I'm sure there was some sort of rehab to the facade that happened post 1970, 1980.
Yeah, I mean, without examining it closely, and it looks like it's not an original 1940s storefront, so there's not much historic integrity there at this
No.
point anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a lot to preserve here.
Yeah, the sign on top, I think the frame of the sign on top has been there a while. I don't know how long,
Yeah.
but just the frame.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Just like the stone, just like those.
Let's get a great new neon sign up there.
According to GIS, it was constructed in 1940.
Right.
Yeah, I believe that
See this?
Oh, yeah, really built.
it looks like,
Very, very minimal to conserve, resources during the war, you know, so.
So we have no objections to what they're proposing. Okay, great.
I go there for coffee and ice cream probably.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, so you guys get to it.
I'll accept a motion to that extent, to that effect.
Make that motion. We'll go further review necessary, I suppose, just.
Thank you for coming to us, actually. It's actually it's kind of been a treat to learn about what's happening.
You know, we've been in this food business a long time. We can create a lot of stuff if you have the space, you know. You know, I own Maple Farm in Hadley.
Oh,
I had the bike pad. And I owned a Martinez restaurant now with the Spalatos in Northampton. And we had a food factory for Big Y, Stop and Shop, and Whole Food. We know a lot of things about the food. We can, even a small place, we can create a lot of stuff.
Okay.
There's the historic chef sitting here.
So hear the people's vote.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much, but how can I get to a building inspector this your decision?
It'll be in the minutes
It'll be the minutes, yeah. He'll look.
next month, but if he wants to call me or I can send him.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You know him.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful holiday weekend. Steve, we'll talk soon.
Yeah, how is the situation? Good?
It's everything's great. I'll call you.
Everything's-
We'll talk.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a great night, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Okay, so we come around a little there. Welcome.
Sorry I was late. It's been.
Thank you, guys.
It's been a couple weeks, but I think I told you I did a good job in Boston.
Right, guys.
So.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and he's been doing work from home for the past 5 years and now. So the childcare for the first time in a long time, since the boys are on the spectrum, they need additional help and it's a lot. Not complaining, it's just a big transition, so I'm running 15 minutes behind right now. It's almost like having a newborn again.
Well, and I have to leave to go to a planning board meeting or 10. Get to the planning board meeting that's in town hall. So,
I didn't even know it's on the planning agenda.
well, sure.
As a giver.
We're moving forward.
Margo, you don't, which the name of the file here, or one of the two next week, where did you save it?
I didn't, so do you want me to save it?
No, I can save it.
Okay. So the next item should be the back to old business. Top item would be.
Coach, follow up, no credit, the month went by for me, so no progress on that as of yet. I know, honestly, if I can't get, things have been kind of busy in my life, if I can't get any more progress on this, I don't know if I can offload the project onto somebody else, because unless there's any big need to do something with it immediately,
The mayor is interested I think restoration would be lovely. That's something that is exciting to all of us. And how cool would it be to have that here? And even better if we could use it in a parade or something. How great would that be? But it needs restored and it needs a home. probably more than restoration, because in that hot and cool, it's just not great, but that's all, like, it'd be nice if it could happen. I mean, that's about it for us on that. It'd be
Yeah.
cool if it could happen. We'd be.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I mean, it's just for me, like, just trying to organize, like, I just don't think I have the bandwidth to like,
Oh,
to really like effectively do that right now. So.
get it.
Mhm. Well, there's no urge, well, there is urgency, it's falling apart,
Maybe
but.
we did anything, maybe the restoration should take a backseat to having it housed somewhere.
Mhm.
Somebody suggested to me that we could use maybe the high school. The auditorium there, because there's not a lot of, there's air conditioning, as long as it's an air conditioning, keep it.
I would definitely, there's no room in the high school. There might be room potentially somewhere at the middle school. Or the basement at Federal Street would be the only place that I could think of. There's just, unfortunately, there aren't, the city buildings don't have room, like.
I don't hear GCC. That's the only place I else that I can think of.
GCC might have room. I have, we've been talking with GCC about the David Wells bell. Which is, if you guys don't know, it's a bell that the city of Greenfield owns that was made by Paul Revere. It is currently housed at GCC. And, it's going to be either housed here or in the library. Soon, the city's gonna take possession of it again. I would love to see it at City Hall. I don't think there's room for it there either. It's in a big case and it's very, very heavy, so it can't go upstairs. And it probably can't go downstairs because the building's falling apart. And I would prefer that if that doesn't happen, then you have to sell the bell to the repaired building. So, but hopefully it can either come here or to the library. Yeah, that's a positive update, though. The city is taking possession of the bell again.
Those numbers, very cool.
It would be
Yes.
cool in the library,
Especially
especially.
Especially in like the historic room or like the rest of it.
Library needs something historic.
That would be,
Events.
that would be a great suggestion if they do have room in historic.
Although we
You know,
have bigger.
It's pretty, it's,
You're like in the middle of the.
I would say it's about this wide.
Yeah.
We are about this wide.
Pretty decent size space. It's in GCC, like right as you go in the main building. It's like.
So like, there's the fossil on your left when you walk in.
Yeah.
Right, we're gonna be able to see that.
When you walk in downstairs.
I think I probably have a photo of it here.
But 4x4, the historic room is not big.
It is not, and I'm worried that there would, I think that might be a fire hazard in there. I don't think it would allow proper,
Egress.
yeah, like you have to be able to get out like certain amounts between like.
That'd be cool.
Because there's a table in there, right?
Yeah, there's a table. I
That's-
think it would,
I think
it would
that's
take
what-
over the table, or you push out the table, and I think the table's supported to
I agree, like,
study things.
yeah,
But in the lobby or in the.
there are definitely potential.
That'd be so cool. I mean, it seems so spacious right now, but I'm sure.
It's a pretty big bell. Here, I got pictures of it I can pass around.
Okay, well, so let's narrow our focus and try to find a place for it.
Find a home.
And that could be a group effort.
Yeah.
You can reach out to GCC.
Yeah.
Well, and also, when we say urgency, we're talking historical urgency, right? We're not talking, we have to deal with it this month.
Yeah.
We have to deal with it the next few years. Yeah.
Dude, we have, is there a company that makes museum cases and stuff like that? We can get like
Yes.
a donation
Yeah.
from.
I'll see Van on Saturday and talk to him about it,
Ask them about it.
because he's well connected in this town.
Yeah,
Good.
Wait,
definitely.
for a new case for,
Like we could get like modifications for the stagecoach.
oh, yeah, that would be incredible.
I mean, all the cases over to the historical society came from small court.
Oh, cool. So we could get one for the stagecoach. We could provide all that stuff to GCC.
It's not
With
bad.
like some kind of grant or something.
It's bigger in person though.
Oh,
It is
It
bigger in
really is
person.
bigger in person. Yeah,
So does GCC not want it anymore?
No, they're updating their lobby somehow. I don't know what they're.
So I don't think they'll want a stagecoach.
That could go on,
Yeah.
it's the, we have the office of JFK.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, there's not.
I've seen it.
I mean, maybe if the stagecoach was restored, it could go in like the big, at the high school, there's the big entrance. It's very open.
Mm-hmm.
If it were in a case, I could see it fitting in there really nicely. If we can talk high school too.
But it'd have to be restored before they.
It have to be restored in a case.
Yeah.
Cause they don't, there's no room for it. And like. DPW is obviously not ideal, but it's also. Kind of it unless somebody has a private air conditioned. Garage somewhere. You know, like,
I might have a garage, but it's not air
I mean, when we lived in the South, lots of people had private air conditioned garages.
People do here too, but they're like very expensive monthly rental.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like just put your vintage cars in there.
I was just thinking about rents around here, like for like commercial space, like, I mean, you're talking like $2 a square foot a month or something like that, so.
So Karen had asked me at one point, my opinion about whether or not we could store them at like, the car dealerships. Like a display like that, but I didn't want to assume that the city would wanna do that because like it might imply a favoritism to have them. Take bids on which car dealership gets our historic artifacts and that kind of thing. And not only that, but if it's not display ready, it'd be kind of like a burden on the car dealership.
Yeah.
I thought, but.
Display really is gonna be the key.
And that's the thing,
Yeah.
I thought I'd bring it up, now she's not here to bring it up herself.
I mean, well, yeah, I mean, well, what's the requirement? Because like, we wanna like doll it up, just to make it look good, like I'll go in there, like I'll free up, go in there and paint it myself if that's. Okay.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know, that's like.
No, my heart's hurting at the thought of that.
Like, I mean,
I do see a desire to kind of keep it in its wheelhouse, you know, like,
Yeah.
like the train station, you know, there, something.
Oh,
I love the idea of keeping it in under the blanket of transportation.
has
If-
anybody ever even been inside the John Oliver station?
Oh, yeah, and I just don't see
There's
there's,
not.
there's not.
What bothers me is that all these buildings are functionally brand new. And if only we had sat behind the architect going, you know. While we're there, we could use space with a big garage door on it.
We actually talked about going into the garage because the garage naturally has corners that are unfilled. But that's subject to vandalism and it's also not air conditioned. But if it were restored, I mean, those coaches weren't in air conditioning.
no, yeah, I mean, that's, and then that comes down to like regularly maintaining it, just like, you know, making sure it's painted or stained and, you know, getting that, I mean, like when I talked to the lady from the Barry Historical Society about their stagecoach, she's like, oh yeah, we just like take it out every year and, you know, light it around on the town common or whatever, you know, so I think one of the things maybe to do would be like, you know, figure out, is it gonna be a display piece, or want it to be functional?
Right, and because there are different storage demands for
Yeah.
those, because if it's going to be regularly maintained and brought out every year, it doesn't need air conditioning and all that, it just needs a garage.
Yeah, different restoration requirements, a museum piece.
Having it be in the parade was talked about.
And I think that's kind of what the mayor was envisioning.
Which I think is lovely.
Yeah,
That would be great.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best place to see it is going down the road.
yeah.
Yeah, and that doesn't need a place to, like, it just needs a place to be stored.
You
Right.
pull it out for the fair, Memorial Day, Veterans Day,
Yeah,
the rag show. I don't know.
and so in that case, it would be more, you know, focusing on the restoration.
Right, because it can
But,
stay at the deep, yeah.
yeah, it can stay there while it's getting restored.
Yeah, I mean, their big thing is just like, they're just, like, I think they just don't wanna be the one responsible for breaking it if something does break. Like, they're kind of being like, oh, we don't wanna have to.
Yeah, they know it's down there.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, that's why I'm like, I mean, like I said, I'd go down myself and work on it, if, like.
Well, and that's the thing,
Well,
getting it,
you know.
the actual getting the work done
Yeah.
would be the easy part, it's
Yeah.
funding that, that's a hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
So it's perfect for for the PC.
I was gonna say, the CPC is amenable to phased projects over multiple years. So we could have, if we find out how much it's going to cost, we could say, oh, we're gonna get this amount of money. You know, we want this amount of money this year, next year we want this amount of money, and I will say the CPC is. They score higher if you have other sources of funding, which includes cupcakes and bake sales.
Yeah.
So like, it doesn't have to be like, exactly. So, I mean, we could go talk about it and be like, hey, Mass DPW or Mass DOT, we have a transportation artifact here. You wanna slide us a little dough? But that's the thing, it's like, we have time to figure it out, but if we're
Athena,
gonna-
do you have any thoughts about that?
Hi, Athena.
she's so, like, oh my god, it's on mute.
She's frozen. No.
Yeah.
Athena, are you there?
I am, yes, sorry.
No, that's fine. Did you hear the stagecoach discussion? Do you have any thoughts about potential supplemental funding?
Not off the top of my head, but was taking mental notes and I'll review your minutes and can certainly entertain the thought.
Mhm.
Yep.
With all your spare time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and getting a cost estimate would be good. Doesn't sound like it would cost a lot, so yeah.
It depends on 200,000, I heard.
200,000?
I didn't hear like hundreds of.
Okay. So put that in your minutes and that'll be
I
a
think
big
the
ask
biggest thing
thing.
is like the interior needs a lot of love. The springs are all gone.
Ah.
Can the interior wait if we do exterior first and have somebody take it down Main Street, or is it all need to be done?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not a restoration.
So what,
Yeah.
like from my perspective, like having actually like laid my eyes on it, like up close and kind of, like I said, I poked it with a screwdriver to make sure it was all rotten. Like, I mean, the big thing is probably getting the running gear in condition first, because the wheels are kind of messed up.
They're messy. The
I think,
textiles are shot.
yeah, and that, I think the wheels being the biggest fear that the DPW had, even handling,
Is there wood reinforced by metal?
Yeah, it was like metal bands, and I think, I'm trying to remember now, I had pictures of the wheel hubs when I went there and looked at it, so I took pictures of it, of like that sort of stuff, and it's, I mean, just
I wonder if John,
fix the wheels, or like, I don't think it had bands around it, but that was my thought on fixing it, is like, why don't you just put a metal band around it to keep it from splitting apart anymore, which is,
We could use
You
the
know.
CPC to pay him to do.
yeah,
And that's, and we also, don't know the process. Like, I wouldn't be at all surprised if a lot of the interior work entails pulling it apart, pulling things out and off-site, restoring the thing. And if that's the case, while that's happening, we can slap something in that the mayor can sit on while it goes down Main Street.
Presence is requested in the kitchen.
Plus,
Presence is requested in the kitchen.
for instance, there are upholsterers here in town, like, I wonder if we made it a collective effort, like, if we had like a donation campaign, like volunteers.
Yeah, get
Oh,
volunteers.
yeah, I was gonna say, and like, again, like, what are we, like, especially if like, we're not trying to go for like 100% historical accuracy, just making it functional.
You know, what we should
I
do,
think that's the best bet, is just
There's
make
no
it.
small bookstore over there.
yeah.
we should put a letter in the paper. We should write something and put it in the paper and then post something else on Facebook to get people's attention, like, hey, we're looking for volunteers, would you like to
Yeah,
be?
even a
involved?"
GoFundMe page, and also
Yeah.
local carpenter unions and mechanics unions, they often donate a lot of their time.
Yeah.
Well, Tim also knows better, because he has colleagues that
Yeah.
restored some in Concord.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it again
Yeah.
next month and maybe come up
I'll
with
talk to Van
ideas.
about that.
I think
Yeah, and talk to Ben, yeah.
there's also a lot of value, I think. Things are going to be hard, moving forward after some things that happened federally today.
Yeah.
That could be really, it would be lovely to have a project that people could rally around, because I think things are gonna be rough. And I think I love the idea of bringing people together to celebrate Greenfield's history. Do something, those things are important, and I think we're gonna need to start looking for more of those things to raise spirits,
Yeah,
but
well, people are hungry and
yeah,
coffee. Anyway, okay.
let's not get too bitter, right?
Okay,
Oh,
that's
I-
enough for that.
We were so much better when none of us knew what politicians got up to all the time.
Okay, review of subcommittee work. Sarah, take it away, historic database and maps.
I will. 2 seconds.
Good. Sarah's been hard at work. And she showed me. Oh. Big matrix.
I just missed. Everyone.
Ah.
Now that I have signal on my computer. Probably minutes on it itself. All right. I need to actually join the Zoom chat too. I'm gonna put this on the screen here.
Oh, good, great.
To get this far. It wasn't ready yet. Never joined the Zoom because it's right here.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, it's fine. I just
I see, you have to be in Zoom there.
I have to be in
Yeah,
Zoom
right.
here on my computer. Right. Put it there. Yep.
Good timing. 10 of us. No, let's talk fast. Well, maybe while we're waiting,
Not sure. I'm almost-
any other, oh, you're almost there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Share my screen. Smart of me. I
Sure.
can't share.
And then just go back to. There you go.
All right, so this is the first iteration that I'm gonna release to the planning department and the building inspector of our historic database. I haven't highlighted the city-owned properties, which is what Eric wanted, and I'll probably go back to work and do that on Monday. Or I can do that this weekend. But essentially, it's not as nicely formatted on my computer at work. It's a little bit bigger, but this is a combination of the GIS data and the macros data. So on this side here, we have all the GIS data, including the assessment IDs, the GIS parcel numbers, the CIA cards, which are provided by Cartographic Associates, that published information about, you know, the property information, what kind of services are available on the property, and likewise the Patriot cards, which are municipally compiled property values. So like you'll have 2 Patriot cards if there is a property, a single property with multiple buildings on that property. But only 1 card for the CIA card because that's the 1 property. The property names are included if they have them, but not all of them do. There's like a neighborhood up towards the Highland Park area called Lupinwood, for instance, that's a name. There are named buildings, but a lot of them just don't have names. Because they were like private houses that happen to be over 50 years old. And the street addresses are also listed, but as I mentioned earlier, the Deerfield Street area, a lot of them were destroyed in houses or natural disasters. Addresses have changed, new streets have been built, so addresses as listed are approximate, and I pull all of that information from the macros database rather than GIS. Whether or not it's demolished likewise is kind of up in the air. Again, things like Deerfield Street, whether or not they're demolished is up for grabs because they were destroyed. Were they demolished? Technically, no. So those are the areas that are gonna be largely thoroughly combed through, and that's taking me some time. So Macros has a lot of databases. This goes from A all the way down to Z, and then it starts AA, AB, those kind of things. And then there are a few extra miscellaneous ones. I think they added like 76 of them in the last survey. And so
Property forms.
yes,
Yeah.
so all those are going to be compiled, and I was only able, for now, I stopped at Deerfield Street, and I'm going through that very slowly. Right now I have GREA all the way through GREO, and you'll see here that there are primary districts listed. That's where it is first, but there are overlapping districts for places like GREC, like the Greenfield Tap and Die has buildings in multiple parts of town. Those may be considered overlapping districts. It might, for instance, be in a GREA or GREC. I don't know why Main Street has like 2 or 3 districts. There's East Main Street Historic District, there's a Central Main Street Historic District, there's a Main Street Historic District. Whether or not they're listed on the National Register is also included here in green, whether it's contributing, non-contributing, and what type of resource. And over here on the right-hand side, whether it's officially designated as such in NACRS, those are gonna be colored in green. And anything that I had to kind of infer, like physically being present in front of the building and being, oh, that's a building, but it's not on paper, is in orange. And most of this is not National Register, so most of this sheet, as you'll see, is going to be orange. And so that's unofficial data, but we can say, oh, I already know that's a building. That's a statue, that's an object, that's a site, it's a cemetery, it's a sign. So, and those things I left open, it's whether it's contributing or not is not legally our designation to call. And so that information has been left open. It does link directly to each of the MACRS pages individually. So 131 Hope Street will have GRE 626, and you can actually just directly click on the MACRS sheet here and pull up all that information. So there's no need to fill in who built the house, what's going on with it. Anybody who has questions can just click it and kind of go from there, is the thought. And you'll notice here that if they are in the multiple districts, you're gonna find them in both. So if you go onto this sheet and you see that there are double entries in the assessment ID or the GIS parcel numbers, it's because chances are there's multiple entries. It may be in overlapping districts. Other than that, I'm gonna continue to add on to it, and I have a small metadata tab here with our purpose. It's supposed to be a link between the historic inventory to current GIS records, support demo review and planning, and basically, eventually what I'd like to do is become more of an informative resource, both for the public and for the city. It was last updated, we're gonna call it today. This is the first version I'm gonna email to the planning department and the building inspector. I'd like to see this reviewed every 3 to 5 years, once it's done. Or after major zoning changes, we should use this as a biblical style book for us. This should be the thing that we go to, is what I'd like to see happen with this. And you can see here, I've got the initial 2025 release covers A through O, M, and AB, and the miscellaneous entries are planned to continue to be put into the summer version 2.0. Hopefully the final version is anticipated in the fall, because it's gonna take me a little time.
This is incredible.
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm impressed. Wow.
It's amazing.
But this is just what I've been working on in my free time at work, so.
Yeah, so
That's amazing.
it should make it really Mark Snow should be able to.
I'm hoping so, because I have a list of city-owned buildings, and I'm going to probably highlight those individually, because that's what Eric wanted called out in particular, was those buildings. But this, I think, will be helpful, and if we can use this and we can build it up, we can include information on those, why is it important at a glance? So that somebody from the rec department can go, oh, that's important because blah, blah, blah. Maybe it's related to recreation, maybe like the Greenfield swimming pool, things like that. They're not included in this, and they should be. So this is also a way to encourage people to say, hey, look, you could be on this list. Your house could be involved in this, your neighborhood, your street, whatever. Things like I haven't found on here the Meridian stones. Those aren't on here. And through forum, the grant, the thing from Brian Knight, he suggested you continue surveying, and that in and of itself, I think, will be able to help this and build off of this. If not, this likewise to contribute to that. This could really become an encyclopedia database. And if you have any familiarity with GIS, we could really turn this into an interactive map of everything
Well,
historic about Greenfield.
also, you're saying, the ideal is this to be used by us all the time.
All the time.
And any errors in it, the best way to find them and fix them is to use it.
Right.
Exactly.
And, just by using it, just, oh, look, there's an error there. Okay, let's fix that.
Let's
Then
fix
we
it.
move on.
Right. And not only that, but
Probably not an error. Probably use
it's
data.
older data. To be fair, a lot of this data was compiled by somebody named Murdo Johns. I don't remember that. In like 1984. This, a lot of it is, I'm not even sure where the data was compiled, like the Deerfield Street data that, for instance, again, I've got people at Deerfield Street.
That was in Peter Miller's brain.
Yeah.
Okay.
That explains much.
Jeremy, would you run the meeting in my absence?
Can we run a meeting?
Really?
So we don't have four.
Yeah, we do.
Four.
There's a four.
Oh, yeah, there's four. Oh, yeah, fair enough.
And Tim's not here.
I guess I
You're taking notes.
So they can go next.
read the words on. No problem.
Okay, I'm sorry, man, don't have to leave.
I'll be back at City Hall in Nashville.
You'll be.
No, I have other things I have to do.
No, oh gosh.
And I also left my Just Roots bag there. I don't want the crews to.
Yeah.
ruin my
That's all right. It's kind of royal last night. Well, anyway, thanks everybody for being here and,
See you next time.
I look forward to seeing the minutes. I'll triple my hours.
Happy
Four, yeah, yeah.
Great. If we're not doing a Fourth of July celebration, we can celebrate the anniversary of the Caesar's Sabbath.
My house faces Beaconsfield.
Right, we'll come to your house.
Yeah.
I'm all down with something by blowing things up.
Speaking of things that could be changed, this Y here for the Greenfield Fire Station. I put that in because I'm having number bag that's much. That's
Sure, I mean,
so those are things too, like what, this is intended really to be kind of like a living archive.
Yeah, so like as stuff changes, even if like, even if the macros thing doesn't get updated for another however many
Right.
years.
We
Like
can be the authority on it.
have,
Greenfield
we'll have
history.
updated information. And I think the important thing too, I think what spurred like this whole thing was the city owned properties
Exactly.
is having the cross reference.
Well, that's why I was gonna start numerically or alphabetically anyway, but the first district, I'm pleased to say that is done entirely is the Main Street area, which seems to be full, developing projects that hopefully will, be very positive for Greenfield, but in that instance, now we all have access to that data. Oh, it's
Mention two.
historic. It's
Respond to public service. Head 1, Arch Place.
Is there anything in any way, anything like what is new, like what you have done to like send to
What I've done. to it.
MHC? Oh yeah, like you, the
That
the fire department
essentially,
is demolished.
no, only because I barely made any changes. So this Y here, I made a change to it, and this. I just made a note here because the GIS data shows that it's 277 Main,
Yeah,
but the address. Is listed as 275, 281.
yeah. I was
Those are like
thinking,
little
yeah,
tiny notes like that. Other than that, this is basically just a raw compilation right now.
okay, yeah, I think I'm just thinking if there are things that MHC doesn't know about that you do, I think they should know
They
about.
should- right,
So if we send them this whole spreadsheet, they're gonna throw their hands up, but if you're like, here's 10 things that need changed on your end. then
Well-
Easily make those changes in.
Well-
So then like if somebody's,
My,
someone from Deerfield or whatever is researching Greenfield history, they'll know about it, cause they're going to Macris, they're not going to this
Right.
spreadsheet.
frankly, my crackpot dream is to literally print out or like have a copy of every single one of these and like go through them one at a time. And confirm each detail, but that's a decades long project and I'm not qualified for that kind of.
how
paper.
much paper focus do you have right now?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, it's also like, if I was getting paid to do it, that would be fantastic, like, I would sit my happy butt down and like do that, but I have a day job, so. But that's the thing, it's like, this is gonna be a years long thing, it's not gonna be like a today, like, I can compile the sheet, but then editing it and detailing it, that's gonna be a community-based, long-term goal.
Yeah,
So basically, I'm gonna put this on, it's on the drive now, it's live. So we can go and we can let them know, like, I think Eric wanted it and Mark Snow wanted it. I'm gonna email it to them and they can have access to it, but it is on the drive. I don't know if Eric, do you want a copy of it?
I have access to the drive.
You do, cool.
What's in projects?
It is, yeah, it's under projects, it's historic
Historic
spreadsheet project, yeah, I just uploaded this version today, so this is the one that I just compiled, I had one on my computer that's. Ugly as hell, it's full of edits and stuff like that, because I personally, like, you can actually go and highlight the columns and identify duplicate entries and things like that, and I've got all that done. Just so that I can see and make sure that I'm not making any fat finger errors, and it's actually a legitimate duplicate. Things like that are, what have been taking me a little bit of time. But-
In the data.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been terrible. My goal is to
Gotta
move
do it.
out. Right, and like, obviously, I have Excel at work, and this is Libra office, so it's not as pretty here. But, it has just been a labor of love and a lot of learning about buildings that have been destroyed or like aren't there anymore. Like here's a good one. So this here, the online 134, the Holy Trinity Roman Catholic Church and the Holy Trinity Roman Catholic Church Rectory. You can see here that they have the same numbers because they're the same plot, but they have two different GIS entries.
Right, separate buildings, same property.
So that's why that's why they're on there twice.
Mhm.
Which I'm surprised it doesn't have multiple Patriot cards, but I digress. It's not a perfect solution. Certainly a lot of the macros data is in need of updating, but we just paid somebody to do that, and it was like, that was a labor of love too, and they live in one area of Greenfield. This is like the whole, so it's gonna be a time consuming, intensive love affair, so, you know. Anyone who wants to volunteer to do that. I'm taking applications, but for now, this is everything that I've successfully compiled. And
Yeah.
I'm working through Deerfield Street. I've been trying to pull out the fire maps. None of them are helpful.
About beer.
Not a single one. I haven't found one yet
No.
of Deerfield Street. Not yet. I mean, it's hard because the National Archives is not our friend. So it's been difficult to find accurate data maps about all this kind of old information. And I'm willing to have a disclaimer on all this information, be like, oh, take it with a grain of salt. But for the most part, things like Main Street, that's gonna be set in stone, pun intended. Things like small houses and things like that. Not really. Like my house, the apartment that I live in, the house was built in 1900. It's not on here. There's a lot of room for error and addition. So this, don't take this exactly with a grain of salt, but the data itself may contain errors, and that's just historic.
Well, and also a lot of times data is only as good as it needs to be.
Right.
In all applications. So basically, most of the data that you're gonna find about any given municipality designed to make sure that that municipality gets its money from its populace.
It only
And
needs to
that's
be as
big,
good.
that's what it's for, and it only needs to be good enough to do that.
Mhm.
It doesn't need to be any better than that, so nobody makes it any better than that. Until you need it to be better than that, and then you do this.
Yeah, and that's the thing, it's like something like this too, like. I'm hoping that this will kind of become a useful resource for multiple different. Via the public, via the different departments, like this is supposed to go, like, my envisioning of this project is kind of like a little Wikipedia for Greenfield. But that's obviously grandiose, and we're just like a 7-8 person commission, so on a volunteer basis, so let's,
And the other thing to realize is that basically this level of data manipulation is in its infancy.
yeah.
And so when we started setting up all these things, we had no idea of the capacity even 5 years down the road that we have for data and data analysis.
True story.
And for storage, all that kind of crap. And so a lot of this, we're still making this crap up as we go. And we're also finding archaeology, my field. It started in the 60s, started really coming into its own, and we started applying databases to it and all that kind of crap. And they decided to keep track of what color soil is. Because I guess that matters.
I can see that it matters, actually.
And you'd be surprised at the spectrum, and yet in that huge spectrum, there's maybe 3 or 4 colors that are actually scientifically telling you something. The rest of them are just like, yeah, it's dirt, all right. Yep,
Love it.
that's brown dirt, that's greenish dirt,
Yeah.
Love it.
well,
that's
yeah,
orange dirt, yeah.
kind of to my comment about like the building earlier that they were asking for input on or seeing like, I was like, all right, it's an old building, but.
Yeah.
Like, it's old, but is it,
It's old, all right.
might not be significant,
Right.
that's the thing, like. But,
And not everything old is significant.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Sarah.
Yeah, good work.
Yeah, well,
Great.
Yeah, just right.
I try. I
I
can't.
hope you enjoyed it too, because this is a lot of work, and if you're not at least enjoying it,
It honestly, it just makes me want to have like a big printout binder of like all these properties and like go through one a day, like tee and like highlight and then take sticky notes and like really learn and like be like, you know, the next Peter Miller, but like that's.
No, you think there's like, my son has this, a couple of his friends have this, a genuine love for spreadsheets.
It's, yeah,
They just love playing with spreadsheets.
if I can get this like on a visual, like a sci-fi screen and just like touch in front of me all day long, I would never get
Oh,
it
what's
done.
that Tom Cruise?
It's like mission
I know.
cost.
I'd never get it.
Yeah, oh, the
If I can have
Minority
access to
Report.
data,
That's
that scale, I love data so much.
I am gonna be that guy in request that we,
yes.
you know, he'll get back on track.
Very good.
To the
All right.
meeting.
Next.
All right, I will move us along. Thank you, Sarah. The next thing on the agenda then, demolition delay ordinance updates, so that I've not done. I was going to look into it more on the
Oh, what
train
happened,
trip that I took,
what happened with Joe Alford?
what's that?
What happened with Joe?
Yeah, so there was some legislation, a bill, that was, I don't know if it was introduced, there was a bill that was written and spearheaded by AI, the American Institute of Architects, in Massachusetts, that had good intentions, I think, to kind of streamline the processes, of demolition delay and such across the spectrum, without getting too in the weeds. The downside of it is that it would have, in its practical application, would have stripped local historic district commissions of their ability to create ordinances that would be able to prevent demolition by mandating demolition delay. So it's meant to say for all the little communities, like, here's a standardized way that you can implement demolition delay across the board to make it easier for everyone to do it. But it would have like superseded the ability of individual municipalities to create their own ordinances at the historic district commission level, which is separate from what we are.
So in other words, like a big town player like Salem with a highly complicated process would have been narrowed significantly.
Right, yeah, and it would have, and what the crux of it, and the big thing that got a lot of preservation commission folks across the state upset about it, I'm just all through the listserv that the MAC does, was that right now, a local historic district commission, which is not what we are, it's what we're thinking of potentially creating, they can create, their own ordinances, there's a lot of leeway. One of the things they can implement is the ability to stop demolition, like just simply say you cannot demolish a building without our approval. And the demolition delay is a different tactic that obviously that eventually times out, and that's usually implemented through the historical commission, which is the type of commission that we are. So in Massachusetts, these are two separate things, and this bill would have made them the same thing essentially, and made it impossible for historic district commissions to say that a project has to have approval through them before it can be demolished. So anyway, we've got all that to say. There's a question like, are all the rules going to be rewritten? So I don't want to spend time on this if it's going to just be totally different. And this was, coming from our representative was the sponsor of this. There was a lot of pushback. There's comments and emails that it's dead, so it's not going to pass. It's not going to go anywhere. So we don't have to worry about it. But that was one scare. Another current scare. Unrelated to that specifically, but I'll just mention it, that there's another bill that would essentially require historic district commissions. I have not read all the details of it, but again, looking through what has been sent over this preservation listserv, it would require historic district commissions to issue a certificate of residential. Issue a certificate for a residential project that adds one or more housing units if the structure was built on or after January 1st, 1900, would not allow a commission to place any conditions on a certificate that would prevent a reasonable financial return in construction or operation of said housing. All that to say that there's a scary bill that would say that local historic district commissions cannot cannot do anything to place any conditions on any project that would create a unit of housing. Yeah. So that, again, it doesn't directly affect us because we are not a historic district. A local historic district commission, we are a historic commission, so it's kind of outside of our wheelhouse, but it's related to the thing that we might form at one point.
Yeah, so basically, like, both, in summary, both of these bills could potentially strip, potentially strip the purpose of having an official historic district. Because we wouldn't be able to,
Even the demolition.
effectively, no, it just affects, it doesn't affect the demolition delay, it sounds like, but it affects when you have a historic district, which is what we want to do in order to kind of have more teeth in terms of like preserving the buildings and keeping them from getting demolished. That would kind of remove any of that.
Well,
It
that's
would remove the purpose of having the historic.
It would take away the
Kind of declaw.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the first bill that I was talking about would, like, it would have standardized the way that demolition delay ordinances would have to be written in a specific way. So the second one is still kind of working through. Again, it's not something that we have any skin in the game in right now, but it would take away the T. So basically, if we form the historic district commission to manage Main Street, we would have the ability to, do whatever within the law we put in there. If this particular law passes, if somebody was adding housing within that district, we would not have any ability to do anything about it. Again, this is all kind of speculative now, but it's the conversations that are happening at this state. That's all I have to say. I have not done anything yet with the delay ordinance because there's a question mark about its future. Not a current threat, and I will get to it again when I can, which I guess that kind of grass goes into the second piece there, the historic zoning district study committee piece, and then we haven't really done anything with that. I know at the last meeting, there was, I guess we formed so I guess I should talk, there was a subcommittee. There
was like a subcommittee. What was it, Tim, you, me, and Doug?
Yeah.
Or was it just you,
Just-
Doug?
We're going to start looking at this long
Just the
term.
document stuff, like this spreadsheet here could help,
Yeah.
Give, just like in the event in the future that this stuff ever doesn't come down the line and turns out to be fruitful.
This is what we're going to do.
Yeah, you guys were just gonna identify.
That's what we're gonna do 4 years from now and take our fingers out of our ears and stop going la la la.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm just gonna kind of like figure out like, all right, if we were to go do this district, this is what we want, kind of just like have an idea.
As a suggestion.
Right, and also with the realization that we absolutely aren't gonna move on this in the next few years. That we're in the very early prep stages and we need to there's not a whole lot of work that we need to do outside of, we've got the documentation to read. And we absolutely want to keep on top of how things are moving forward and stay informed, but we don't have a lot of work that we need to do at this point. Outside of like reading.
Pretty much. I'd
Alright.
say that's your,
from the last meeting, there was pushback, like there was questions about the ability to get something like this through. At this point, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't think it's likely.
Good, so that's, if there's no other comments on that. The new business, proposed demolitions, those come to Margot and I don't recall seeing anything of note. In the last month, that has come in, so I don't have anything additional there. We did 200 Main Street already, the new alternate Karen, I guess we don't have, she's not here to.
She did have her interview with Jared and the mayor.
Yeah, I think just it's in process.
Is there?
She's going up to council. Next month. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that.
So yeah, probably.
She was great, by the way, good find.
She's super nice, right?
Yeah, I really liked her. She's very smart and
She lives like 3 houses down from me.
she was fantastic.
Did you find?
I did. She's in precinct 7 and I was like, hey, I'm running for city council. She's like, I live in precinct 7. And we got talking and she's like, oh my God, I'm a history teacher. You look at him like, say less.
Great. She was really, you guys will like her. She's very smart and
Awesome, good. And then, the letter that Margot sent to the CPC, I think everybody was
We agree that, yeah.
forwarded on that,
Yep.
in support of remembering preservation projects.
Yeah, that's, it was basically just remember preservation projects, and
Yeah.
we seemed like, wow, we'd love to have more.
Yeah.
Cool. It was a lot to really talk about, we'll talk
Yeah.
about it. But, that said, if we are doing anything at all with the stagecoach, the CPC, I would recommend sooner rather than later. The deadline for pre-applications, I think, is sometime in early September. So that would include things like, having the wheels, the metal on the wheels done. We can start small if we're gonna do anything like that, but if anything is going to happen, we should start really thinking about that, because pre-applications are due. I can give you
How
that.
detailed is how much do we need for the pre-application?
I can give you the pre-application.
Yeah, can you send that?
It's on the city website.
Oh, it's on the city website. I'll look on the city website.
And I can actually, I can just email it to everybody. I might just put it on the historical commission's drive. Just download it.
I would just be wary just in case it does update and then we have, like, if, they.
Well, if it does update, well, no, the reason we had that public hearing last week was because, we were thinking about updating it, some of the verbiage will be changing, but other than that, it's pretty much the same. So for our purposes in planning, it would be the same, but yeah, so let's see.
I'll take a look at that.
I say, if there's anything that goes on the drive that we should know where it is or know that it's there, it's always, it's like I'm not going on drive weekly and checking if there's anything new.
Yeah.
Like a file on the drive that's like useful forms that then has links.
Also,
Yeah.
And that way, if they update, we go to the updated one.
the website has not been updated, I'm sorry, the Christian actually has left. He left, I think today was his last day. And somebody else will be taking over for Christian, so don't email Christian, because.
Email me right now.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Who was it, Amy?
Maybe Callahan, but Christian just did the website updates, on something.
Oh.
And so, so Christian, got offered a very exciting opportunity, it's lots of room for growth, working for the Chamber of Commerce here. I'm really excited for him, despite missing him. And then, of course, Matthew, who is our communications person.
Everyone's leaving.
He got offered a job, he lives in Agawam, got offered a job 5 minutes from his house with opportunity for growth as well.
Marlo's leaving?
Marlo, of course, is leaving. He got offered a job in Hatfield with a smaller department that's gonna let him spend more time with his family and his wife before he retires in a few years. Thankfully, Paul Newell has been with the DPW here in Greenfield for around 30 years and knows the department inside and out as well. So it's going to be a really fairly seamless transition, but it comes in waves. They'll be stable for a while, then in another year, there'll be another wave, because that's how it goes in municipal government.
A lot of shaking and moving and everywhere.
Yeah.
Probably even private, trust me, because I'm.
Yeah. So it's, lots of great, we're so lucky to have Paul be able to step in as DPW. He's a gem. And then it's exciting to see these other, young people get opportunities that are gonna be so good for their futures. But I'm like, oh, guys, I miss you already. You're leaving us. So.
Well, I make a motion, we adjourn this meeting if all agenda items have been covered.
So,
Seconded.
All in favor?
Favor.
unanimous.